and welcome to my kitchen. It's been 2 years since the last episode of Chef Jack, and tonight we're going to be making Chicago-style pizza. It's the best pizza in the friggin' world. I don't care what anybody says. New York style's good, Chicago style's better, and I'm about to prove it. Let's get started with the dough. For the dough, you're going to need 2 packs of rapid rise yeast, 2 cups of warm water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, ½ cup of vegetable oil, ½ cup of cornmeal, and 5½ cups of all-purpose flour. Alright, you add the warm water to the bowl. Add the yeast to the warm water. Add the sugar. Stir to dissolve. Add the oils. That's the olive oil, the vegetable oil, the cornmeal, and then add half the flour. That's about half. You're going to want to use the regular mixer blade. And then beat this for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes is up, remove the paddle. Scrape off the good bits, of course. Right. Put on the dough hook right here, the dough hook. And you're going to want to add the rest of the flour. This could get a little messy, so you might want to be careful there. You're going to mix this until it gets nice and thick. It turns into a big ball. Alright, that looks good. Alright. Move all this stuff out of the way. Bring in a bowl, like so. And I'm going to need some of this Pam right here. Spray the bowl. Get the dough in the bowl and then wrap the whole thing in plastic wrap. Alright, set that in a warm, dry place and let the dough double in size. It should be about 20 minutes. Alright, let's just let that dough rise. After about the 8th or 9th take of me doing that shot, I guess I need a little bit more liquid courage. I need to loosen up a little bit. Alright, better. Let's get started on that sauce. Alrighty, what we got here, we have 28-ounce can of Muir Glen crushed tomatoes. I prefer the Muir Glen. It's very good, very fresh tasting. We have another can of diced tomatoes, 16-ounce can. That just adds volume and texture, and I like it. We have a ½ teaspoon of salt, ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of fennel, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and between, a teaspoon and a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to have a ½ onion diced fine, some basil cut up in there, and then some fresh oregano. Give that a nice stir. Alright, we're going to set that in the refrigerator until we're ready to use it. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes. We should probably check on the dough. Ah, see that? It's doubled in size. Alright, you're going to want to punch that down a little bit. Alright, and then put this back on. Alright, we're going to let that rise again for another, 10 or 15 minutes until it doubles in size again, and then we'll punch it down again, and then we'll be ready to roll out our pizza dough. But before we do that, we're going to grease up some pizza pans. These are some deep dish pans, and you're just going to lube them up with olive oil, probably about a tablespoon each. Now that the dough has doubled in size again, we punch it, cut it in half, and then roll it out. Obviously you're going to want a nice clean surface for this. So we'll cut that in half. Roll this out until about the size of the pizza pans over there. That's good. Roll that up onto the just gonna put some dough up on the sides here. So. You may have to fiddle with it a little bit just to get it to work. Alright, that should do it for this one. As you can see, I kind of pulled it up the sides here. We're going to let these rest a little while, and they'll puff up some more, and then I can kind of bring up some dough on the sides if I need to. Okay, while the dough is rising in the pans, we're going to set the oven to 475. Hopefully that's not too loud on tape. I gotta tell you, there's a reason why I don't do this for a living. I mean, moving these lights around, dicking around with this camera, it's a pain in the ass. It's like a 5-man job. And I'm sweating like a whore in church, so pardon the beer. Here are our ingredients. We've got sliced mozzarella cheese, some Italian sausage I got at Whole Foods, and some regular pepperoni. Let's see how these pies look. Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful thing. It rose pretty nicely. Look at that, it's puffed up. My dog is barking outside. He's been a maniac all day. Oh, that's pretty good too. That one I was worried about. We'll just set that one over there. Okay, this is the second pizza. We're going to make the same thing. We're going to start off with the cheese. I'm only doing this again in case I screwed up the first take, or I don't like the framing. Just the right amount of cheese. Beautiful. Alright. Now comes the Italian sausage. Just smear this like a little disc on the bottom of the pizza. You want it thin so that it cooks nicely. I believe this is a spicy Italian sausage. You can use spicy or sweet, doesn't really matter. It's all personal preference. But I like a lot of it on my pizza. Alright, that is just how I like it. Tape off a little bit. Now comes the sauce. The remaining sauce. Pour that all on there. Some nice coverage. Some more pepperoni. I'm just going to cover this with pepperoni. A shield of pepperoni, if you will. There's one more in there. I can never have too much pepperoni. Alright, now the Parmesan. Usually I have this already ground, but today I'm running a little behind. And this will work. Nice and fresh. Oh my god, that looks good. Look at all that. Fresh, grated Parmesan. I love it. What's next? Ah, here we go. Olive oil. Gonna drizzle that on top. And we are now ready to put one of these pizzas in the oven. They weigh about 5.5 pounds each. That's amazing. Alright, we have the oven preheated at 475 degrees. We're going to shove that in there for about 35 to 40 minutes, you know, until the crust is golden brown and delicious and the cheese is all bubbling and lovely looking. And we'll see you folks in 40 minutes. Oh my. Look at that. You're going to place that onto a cooling rack and let that sit for 5 minutes before you cut into it. See if we can get a piece of this out of here without too much trouble. Oh yes, no problem at all. Look at that. That is what I call a beautiful pizza. Look at that. So, there you have it, folks. Chicago-style pizza. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can get a piece of this in my mouth. Ah. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my god, that's so good. Mmm. Mmm. You have got to try this.